Hi, I'm U.S. Attorney Janine Ferris-Pirro. We continue in our fight to rid the district of the crime that has been so pervasive, and under President Trump, we are getting the job done. Let's take a look at our latest cases. Sentences of note. 34-year-old Joly Germine, the self-described king of a notoriously violent Haitian gang, was sentenced here in the district to life in prison without the possibility of parole. In October of 2021, Germine orchestrated the hostage-taking of 16 American Christian missionaries serving in Haiti. Germine organized their capture by using contraband cell phones while he was actually jailed inside a Haitian prison. Germine's gang drove the missionaries to a field and then robbed them at gunpoint, while consulting by phone with Germine, their leader. Then the gang held most of the missionaries in a remote rural area for 62 days. Germine initially demanded $1 million in ransom for each hostage, but even after their families had paid his gang a substantial amount of money, Germine refused to release the missionaries that, by the way, included children. Instead, he demanded that the Haitians free him before he would liberate the hostages. This sentencing makes clear that Germine's scheme to win freedom for himself by using Christians as pawns backfired. For a May 2025 carjacking in Washington, my office requested that 18-year-old Mark Edwards be sentenced to 7 years. Instead, the judge mouthed the words 84 months and then suspended the sentence, meaning he could walk out that day. The court's sentence was entered pursuant to the Youth Rehabilitation Act, which permits a sentence beneath the mandatory minimum term of 7 years for carjacking. My office strenuously objected, but it didn't move the judge at all. So Edwards ended up with time served, which was about 3 months in jail. Thank you, D.C. Counsel. And 19-year-old Nasir Green was sentenced to 71 months in prison for possession of fentanyl, oxycodone, and a fully loaded Glock handgun. Green was one of 4 men in a car parked in a no-parking zone near Logan Circle. When officers investigated, they spotted a handgun tucked between the legs of one of the passengers. That led to a search of all 4 men and the discovery of Green's Glock pistol, which had been modified with a machine gun conversion device. Officers also found Green with more than 150 assorted narcotics pills. 34-year-old Luis Santos Perez of Las Vegas was sentenced to 144 months in prison for posting child pornography to a notorious chat room where members shared and celebrated the graphic images of children and even infants being sexually abused. Perez was both administrator and participant on the mobile app called Kick, where the images were exchanged. In his role as administrator, he demanded that members post images of younger and younger victims, including infants, if the members then wanted to remain in his group. 12 years for this kind of twisted crime is not enough, which is why we requested an additional 10 years on supervised release. Arrests and charges. 29-year-old Ramanullah Lakhanwal, an Afghan national, who resided in Washington state as part of President Biden's Welcome Allies, was charged with first-degree murder in the ambush shooting of 2 National Guardsmen from West Virginia the day before Thanksgiving, just a few blocks from the White House. 20-year-old specialist Sarah Beckstrom, a National Guardsman from West Virginia, tragically died from her injuries on Thanksgiving Day. Guardsman Andrew Wolf, 24, was critically injured in the ambush and remains hospitalized. Lakhanwal was injured in a gunfight with other guardsmen and remains at a hospital where he is being treated and held under guard. As for pleas and convictions, 42-year-old Julius Worthy was convicted after a jury trial of second-degree murder in the 2023 killing of his 36-year-old roommate Orlando Galloway. Worthy shot Galloway 6 times, stabbed him 5 times in the neck, then repeatedly hit him in the face with his gun. He then turned on Galloway's girlfriend, stabbed her multiple times, strangled her, causing her to lose consciousness. And eventually, when she tried to escape through the apartment front door, Worthy attacked her again, this time stabbing her with a pair of scissors. Miraculously, she survived. He faces up to 95 years in prison when he is sentenced. In other news, the Scam Center Strike Force, spearheaded by my office, seized a web domain used to target and defraud Americans through cryptocurrency investment fraud scams. The domain had been used by scammers located at the Tai Chang scam compound located in Burma. Tai Chang is affiliated with Chinese organized crime and other scam centers in Southeast Asia. And as part of the Strike Force's efforts at public-private partnership, the Strike Force worked with Meta to actually identify Facebook accounts associated with the Tai Chang compound. Meta voluntarily removed approximately 2,000 accounts as part of the collaborative effort. And also, as part of our efforts to spread awareness and secure public-private partnership, I addressed the Global Anti-Scam Alliance at Amazon headquarters this week. Private companies are interested in joining us in the U.S. Attorney's Office in this international effort to curb these billion-dollar scam schemes. And on another front, my office is scheduled to prosecute the defendant who made the bomb that blew up Pan Am flight over Lockerbie, Scotland in 1988, the one that contained hundreds of victims. On December 21st, I'll give a speech in Arlington, Virginia, to honor the Americans who were lost that day. We continue to not only fight crime, but we do what we can to help heal victims and their loved ones.